services we will discuss. One is Active Directory, DHCP, and DNS. There is a lot of services from different servers. Okay. So the first one is we should discuss about peer-to-peer and server and client and different type of servers and based on their services and what is workgroup, domain, and what is an Active Directory, DHCP, and DNS. So now it is around already 12 o'clock. So we have very less time. So tomorrow I'm on leave. So Sai sir will take about cloud and Office 365. Okay. Guys, what is a peer-to-peer? What is peer-to-peer? The first one is the heading is servers and different type of services. We have version test tomorrow. Okay, no problem. Those who are not having version test will discuss. Okay, so we'll see tomorrow then. Those are not having version test, please attend the class. So what is this peer-to-peer? So peer-to-peer is it is simple to understand. All our PCs, what are the PCs we are using? There are peer PCs only. It's a kind of work group model. For example, you have a multiple computers are there are connected in the network. Connected in the network. It's a symbolic representation of devices in the network. Okay, this represents the devices are in the network. I have a devices connected to the network. Okay, each device is individual system, not a dependent, no Active Directory, no domain, no centralized control of it. You all are having a version test. It's okay, no problem. So no class tomorrow. Okay. For example, in PCA, I have some data and the data is accessed from PCB through network. No centralized control. Simply A is providing a data, B is accessing a data. In that particular instant, it is like A act like a server, B is kind of client because A is providing, B is accessing. But there is no permanent server, no permanent client kind of stuff. Now I connected my printer to a DPC. It is a shared printer. If I want to access this print from CPC, so C send a request to D, D will forward this print request to the printer. So it is like a D act like a print server, C act like a client. In the particular instance only, not always. Okay, there is no permanent server client model. It is in the particular instant only. So they will act like a server and client. Not only like that, guys, also communicating. Communication means what? Exactly what is meant by communication? Communication between two devices. It means either you will send a message, so other device will reply you. Either you have a resources, other device access your resources. You have a information, other device will take your information. That is what communication is. Okay. So devices are communicate each other without any centralized control or not a specific server. This is a peer-to-peer network. Okay. Peer-to-peer network. It is a kind of workgroup model, sharing information, data, resources between two or more systems without centralized control. Without systems or devices without centralized control, without any centralizations. A system act like a server and other act like a client in a particular instance on particular time. Another model is client and server model. Means there is a specific server. Devices will access the service from the client. So server provides a service, client accesses the service. Here I given an example. You have a web server, for example, or a mail server. Yesterday we discussed Outlook. That time it is up. Okay. So this is a web server. I want to access a web service. I will send a request to the web server and asking I want a web pages. Then only we'll get a web page here. So here I have a web server, remote web server is there. I ask a web server, give me your web page. Okay. So then I am getting the web page. So client has to send a request, server will give you a response. Server will give you a response. Okay. Client request for a service to the server, server respond to the client. Okay. Server itself do not provide anything to the client, guys. The client has to request first. Then only server will provide the service. Not only a web server, mail servers are there, VPN servers are there, okay? Active Directory, DHCP, DNS, like a different type of servers. The provider service, a space, that what service it is, okay? How server understand client request and how client understand server response based on their protocols. So we discussed these protocols and port numbers in networking time only at OSI layer model. For example, I want a request a web server for asking a web page. What protocol? HTTP protocol. I ask a DHCP server for getting an IP address. So I use a DHCP protocol. I ask a mail server to send a mail, SMTP protocol. I ask a mail server to retrieve a mail. So I use POP3 or IMAP protocol. Okay. So we use a protocol. So then the server will understand what is the client request and the client will understand what is the server is responding. Okay. What is server giving now? Okay. So how server become a server? So how we can call a server as a particular server? We are calling this is a web server, this is a mail server, this is a VPN server, this is the radius server, this is a active directory server, DNS server, DHCP server. How we can call how a server become a particular server and how we can call that server as a particular server. Okay. So by installing a specific packages are there or packages or maybe an applications, server operating system has a built-in roles. We have a built-in roles inside. So that is while installing and configuring of these built-in roles or features or by installing some applications and configuring that application or packages, a server can able to provide a specific service. a specific service. For example, I want to make a server as a web server. If it is a Microsoft server operating system, then I install my Internet Information Service, IIS. But if it is a Linux server, I will install a Apache HTTPD, or maybe Tomcat application I will install in a machine. Then it is become web server and application server. Okay, so by installing an application or a package at all. Yesterday I told about Outlook. That time also use mail server. How is server become a mail server? By installing Microsoft Exchange application, or by installing Zimbra application, or Squirrel Mail application, a Dovcat application, or Domino server application. It become a server. Okay. Server provide a service, client access a service. How a server become a particular type of server? Okay, based on what service it is providing. So you have to install certain roles or features, or maybe an application or a packages, and configure it so it is become a particular server and it will provide a particular service. How to access the service? Using a protocols. Okay. So for example, you take a web server, HTTP, HTTPS kind of services, not smallest, it's a capital S only. HTTP or HTTPS services. By installing Apache HTTPD or Microsoft Internet Information Service or Tomcat, Glassfish, like that, you install a application or a features or a roles, it become a web server. Same goes for FTP. Install a FTP or SFTP, VSFTP kind of packages, it is able to become a FTP server. DHCP server, DNS server, Active Directory domain controller server it is. Okay. WDS, Windows Deployment Server, means you have a one server and we can install operating system to the multiple clients through network. Like I have 100 systems are there. Using a Microsoft Windows Deployment Server, I can install 100 systems at a time, operating system through network. Mail servers works with the SMTP POP3 IMAP protocols, and it become a server by installing certain packages. Guys, for few we need to install a application. Some are built-in features or built-in packages. So VPN server, storage servers, by configuring a server become a storage server. If you install Oracle database server application in a machine, it become database server. Install Microsoft SQL server, it is become a database server. Install MySQL application in a system, then it is become a database server. Okay. Not only this, by hypervisor servers also there, like you want to create a virtual machines. Okay, so that is a server virtualization is there. Concept is server virtualization. So in a machine, you take a machine and install these server hypervisors into it. It become a hypervisor server virtualization concept it is. Microsoft Hyper-V servers, VMware ESXi vSphere servers, Citrix Xen server operating system, Proximox, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. These are all help to create a virtual machine in a server as a centralized machine. Okay, by installing it. Not only these guys, there is so many type of servers. What are these server operating system? I said except this, of course, this is itself a server type operating system, means hypervisor operating systems. But these are all services. Either you should configure in it or maybe install a server application in it. then it becomes a server, right? But what type of operating systems support it? Microsoft Windows servers are there from NT 2000, 2003, 2008, 2008 or 2. So latest one is 2005. Linux based servers are there, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Fedora, Debian, and so on, so many are there. Unix based servers are there, Solaris, HP UX, like that. IBM servers are there. Okay, different type of servers. So I divided wantedly separately this one. Okay. Why? Because of these are a base operating systems. On the base operating system, you install a particular role or a feature, or by installing an application or a package, it can able to become a particular server. This is a base operating systems. But this is directly hypervisor operating system. You install into a machine, you take one computer or a server and install hypervisor, so then immediately can provide a virtual machine, server virtual machines kind of stuff it will provide. So no need to configure. You can configure it by changing some settings and all, we can do it. But so direct, it's no need to install any package inside for a start working. Okay. Yeah, that's just for names, guys. Okay, just for names. So you don't get it also, no problems, but try to understand the names. Okay, reverse order I am coming. So from is first is you need a machine. Okay, to want a server, first of all you need a machine, right? You need a machine. Inside a machine you have to install a OS, server OS you have to install. Then you have to configure it as a particular server by installing a package or an application or a thing. So first of all, I told package related or maybe service related, I told. Then I just told about a server operating system, different type of server operating systems. Now we'll come to this machine now. Okay, so what this machine, we are using i5, i3, i7 type of processors, or AMD type of Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5 type of processors. Now from Intel, there is this processor called Xeon processor. Xeon processor. Okay, it's a high performance processor because server has to run 24 hours, 7 days a week. Means always it should be on. Server always 24 hours it should be run. Desktops and laptops will use in a for 8 hours, 9 hours maximum, continuously. And you shut down, you go home and you'll open again. So 24 hours continuously we don't use it. In a servers also multi-server support is there. Means not only one server, one processor, multiple processors also we should insert on a one motherboard for performance purpose. For a performance purpose. Okay, so that is also supported by this type of processors. Normal processor not support. Normal processors we cannot run for 24/7. Okay, so that is in a processor, motherboard, RAM, all these things are different from regular desktops and laptops. Okay, of course server laptops won't be there. Okay, server are fixed in one place. In this one also different models are there, like a tower server, rack server, blade server kind of stuff. Okay. Tower server generally look like your desktop only, but it is a high tower, so it's look bigger in a size like this. What is the difference between normal desktop and this? It is has a built-in RAID controllers, built-in SCSI controllers. Okay, multiple processors we can able to insert in it like this. Okay, you can see the cost variation is also different. This is not tower server, this is a tower server, guys. This is a rack server. Okay, that is a rack server. can see in this picture, this rack is inserting or removing. We don't know what is doing. So it is the rack is pulling out. So in this data center, they're inserting a rack. Okay, the rack means one rack, one server. This is one server, one tower, one server. The same way, one rack, one server kind of stuff. So this is blade server. This is inserting a blade server. Okay. So one blade, one server, one rack, one server, one tower, one server. Okay, it contains server means it contains complete hardware. It contains a processor, it contains a SSD or hard disk, it contains a RAM. What is the difference? Normal tower servers, we have a SCSI controller directly, we can insert SCSI disk inside, even for a racks also. Okay. Even for a no. It will open a website and I will get a lot of messages from it. Okay. Okay. Even for this one also we have a multiple storage containers like a SCSI or SAS disk. We can able to insert it. Okay. But blade servers having a very limited only processor, SSD, RAM and network connectors only. Okay. If you see these are all data centers only, guys. Okay, one data center having multiple racks or blade servers, storage devices, networking connectors, networking components, fiber optical connectors are there. KVM switches. So right, these are all data centers only. Okay, these are the three type of servers. This is how it is. There are look like. This is small. Pictures came, so very good. Just to know, based on the machine kind of stuff. I don't have much space, so I copied the difference between blade and rack and tower servers, guys. Okay, so tower and rack servers are more expensive because it is internal infrastructure is also very bigger. Okay, but occupy more space and more cabling is required. Coming to the blade, it's very less space it will occupy and compared to less powerful and as well as less cost also. Okay, but I need a 10 servers to do certain project. In my project, I need a 10 servers. So I have to place 10 servers, means 10 performance, 10 servers required, and then I will choose blade server. In my organization, I need a server only one main server, one backup server is required. That's it. I need only 2 servers and maybe 3 servers max. Then I choose tower server. My organization is very limited. So I need just 2 to 3 servers only. Main server, one backup server, and some other additional server is required. Then I choose tower server. So my organization is bigger, then I want to read more servers and reduce less space and less cabling I prefer. Then I will go to the rack or a blade server. Depends upon the organizational requirement. Okay, guys, up to here.
Yes, sir.
I will tell one more small thing, just for words only, guys. I'm not going to explain any deeper kind of stuff, just to know the components. This is a data center. Okay, so which maintains the data and applications. To maintain the data and an applications and run the applications, we need an infrastructure, right? Like we need a different type of servers, like rack servers or blade servers kind of stuff is there inside. You have a networking components like routers, switches, fiber optical cables, okay, host bus adapters. You need a firewalls to protect your network. Okay, physical security, network security, both you have to provide. Okay, storage, the storage is okay, so we have a different type of storage is required. Not only we are using SSDs and hard disks for storing an operating system. For storing a huge amount of data, we need different solutions. And that too, data should be stored centrally, not dedicated to one server or not dedicated to one machine. Centralized storage is required. For that one, we use SAN type of storages, storage area network, NAS type of storages, network area, network attached storage. Okay, iSCSI kind of storages. Maybe in the storage, a disk can be filled. So for that one, we need a redundancy. We use RAID controllers to create a redundancy. One disk is failure, no problem. Other disk will provide a data. Okay. So your laptop or a desktop hard disk is failed, so you cannot access the data, right? But if it is an organization, disk is failed, you can't able to access data. You can come back tomorrow. So that is not a good idea, right? You went to the bank and you want to withdraw your money, and bank person is still unable to access data because my server disk is failed. It's not a good thing, right? So then compulsory they have to maintain redundancies, okay, load balancers, and high availability kind of stuff, okay. And of course, what is the use of these servers, networks, and storage kind of stuff? To run applications, services. Okay. To you want to run an application like a web application you're running, mail application you're running, you're providing the services. So what we need these all these things. That's why we are going with the data centers. Okay. And some misconception is also people will do, that is, sir, we don't require a data centers, not required nowadays. Why? Because of we have a cloud. Yes, cloud guy is also maintaining a data center. Without a data center, he cannot provide any cloud services also. Okay, he has to maintain the infrastructure. He has to maintain the, instead of you or your organization maintaining the data centers, so it's cloud service provider maintain it. That's right. So people are moving to the cloud. Okay. Of course, for any data center, compulsory maintain the cooling system and power supply. So there is a data center monitoring concept is there. So monitor your data center, how the servers are functioning, how your network devices are working, network flow is there, how traffic is there, okay, how storage is going on, is anything is down, anything is full, anything become busy like that. So you have to compulsory monitor the data center. So different tools people use it to monitor the data center, like Nagios, topics. Okay, goal. One more, a few, so many are there. So many are there. NPM, network performance monitor from SolarWinds. From SolarWinds. ERTG. Okay, different monitoring tools. Yeah. I told Op Manager, right? Op Manager, it will shows your events. So like a different data center monitoring. So how application is performing, or how system is performing, and anything is down or anything required attention. So we can get it from this monitoring tools. One by one monitoring tool also you can search it, guys. Learning is simple. You know something, just try, then you will get it. That's it. Someone will come, someone will teach, then we will learn, then we will forget. Is it any important for interview? Only we thought that one. Okay. So now or later, so it is knowledge is important. Yeah, that is enough. Okay, highlight color is also introduced here. Okay, guys, understand up to here? Yeah. Just relax for a minute. So then I will explain work group and domain also. Okay, because if I given a break again, then it will completely break. Okay, let's relax a minute. 2 minutes. Again 12:40 will start.